Talk to us.
Man, I wore this hoodie for a reason, man. It was a long time coming. A lot of people been waiting for me to talk about this year done, son. I think I would say, I think the Wizards community is ready for this. This week's year done, son, it's Tommy Shepard. It goes to the GM. I want to give it to Ted Leonzi, but when you got millions and billions, you can make whatever calls you want. This goes down. This is now for Tommy Shepard. Basically, what's going on here is we have a guy who started off as an assistant GM. The Wizards started with Ernie Grunfeld, and Ernie Grunfeld used to do this magical thing. He would bring in all these old free agents around John Wall and Bradley Beal and be like, hey, we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to win more than 40 games. We're going to do this, make all these promises, have people buy season tickets. Hey, I was a owner of season tickets one time before. I brought into the dream too. Then around the All-Star break, he goes and he starts to do this flash sale where he just gets rid of all the same people that he just signed, only just to make a playoff push. We ended up with guys like Markieff Morris because of that. A couple other band of brothers or cast of brothers came there. Draft picks have been horrid at the bill. Some would say Otto Porter. That was another Ernie Grunfeld thing. But hey, Tommy Shepard, you sat back as the assistant GM and the senior VP of basketball and seeing that all these terrible moves was just tearing this franchise down for years upon years upon years upon years. And you come in and do the same exact thing. Let's start off with some of the negatives here. All right. You trade John Wall to Houston for Russell Westbrook because you're trying to get John Wall out of here. I mean, we've seen some videos come up, and Ted was saying, "Hey, that's not the face of the franchise. I don't need my point guard to be throwing up gang signs, so on and so forth." But the city embraced John Wall. John Wall is to DC exactly. John Wall is to DC what Allen Iverson was to Philly. The streets love him. The club love him. We call him the unofficial mayor of DC at this point. Okay, he even started claiming the hood. It was crazy. John Wall's from North Carolina. I don't even know how he started claiming hoods up here. But anyway, then we get Davis Bertans. I know some people probably don't know, like, who is Davis Bertans? He was a sharpshooter. He paid Davis Bertans this crazy max deal, can't play defense. After he paid him, he literally saw 3 minutes a game and couldn't hit a three. Couldn't even throw a rock in a lake. That's one. Then he brought in another bevy of free agents to build around Bill and maybe Russ. The Russ thing threw me off a little bit, but then I was like, you know what? Maybe he brought Russ in for some MVP motivation, to build up around the youngins. Because again, we can't draft. The Wizards just can't draft. I don't even know why we hold on to picks because we can't draft. Dwight Howard, you guys remember him?
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie, you guys remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he can go.
Yeah. No. He brought him in. He did a couple trades, a couple things where he got some guys over from the Lakers, guys from the Clippers. They all get in the locker room. We go on an 11-game win streak, and then boom, they start fighting. We lose 13 games in a row out of the playoffs. Bills versus Hurt. Comes to the end of Bill's contract, and then he says, "You know what? We're going to sign you for a max. We're going to give you a max deal, Bill, because you're our guy." Bill signs the deal, and he gives him a no trade clause. Bill can't even stay on the court for more than 40 games, and you give him a no trade clause. He's making $50 million a year. Another mistake. Now we're in cap hell. One silver lining out of all of the things that he's ever done, he brought in Kyle Kuzma. My wife calls him Kuzmo. She gave him a nickname. So now when he goes off, it's Kuzmo in the household. We also got the unicorn, so that's another plus. However, you sign your best friend from Denver, Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld was, I think he was a defensive coordinator with the Nuggets, and this is when they were making their playoff run. He helped Michael Porter Jr. get back to where he was, with the bad back, all the guys, Joker, Jamal Murray, everyone from Denver was like, hey, no, you guys got to steal. I love this coach. He's a position. He's a coordinator. He's not a head coach. Coordinator. Tommy, bad move. Bad move. I'm going to name some of these draft picks that I talked about earlier. Rui Hachimura, Admiral Schofield.
Who is that?
Thank you. Denny Avdia, Cassius Winston, Corey Kispert, Isaiah Todd, and recently Johnny Davis. Out of all of those names,
I know none of them.
out of all of those names, There's only four, maybe three of them that have a bright upside. Rui, Corey, and maybe Denny. I don't even know Isaiah Todd if he gets on the floor, but he doesn't get on the floor. Johnny Davis, they went and drafted this kid, right? They drafted him and said he was going to be Bill's counterpart. Can't even make it on the floor. He gets in the summer league, can't even hit the blind side of a barn. The blind side of the barn. It's crazy. Tommy, I want you to know I said all this in this monotone because I am highly upset. But you all want to know why no Wizards fans come to the game? Because the product on the floor is trash. Ted Leonsi, I know you're dealing with an owner that's cheap, but he spends money on the teams like the Mystics. He went and got the Mystics a winning piece. He went and got the Capitals a winning coach. They both won recent championships. At some point, you need to go in the office and tell them, like, look, man, we need to sprinkle some fairy dust on this Wizards team and get us back in contention because the fans are not going to show up until you actually start winning. They're currently on an 11-game lose streak. They're probably going to lose to the Suns now because I'm talking about it. Look, Tommy, you showed up. You made promises. I feel like you were a politician. But from the fans that were here when they were the Bullets to the Agent Zero years to the John Wall day ones, we just want to tell you, bro, you're done, son.
So, Tombo, what was the score last time we talked about the Wizards and the Suns?
I know. It was like 70-34, something crazy like that.
No, it's 96-88. They losing.
I told you. You see what I'm saying?
All right. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I felt every drop of that, man. Yeah. When you mentioned that dude could Berton could make it three, playing 3 minutes a game. I mean, you want to know how to deal with that? Let's talk to David. All right. David's going through the same thing. All right. He has to play on his roster. 3 minutes a game, that's not really hitting no threes. All right. Getting paid a lot of money too.
And can't play defense.
Duncan Robinson.
So, man, you're right, man. Being from Washington, D.C., never been a Wizards fan, but it was exciting when John Wall and when they was going to the playoffs, they challenged Indiana. I remember they beat Toronto in the first round, swept them. You know,
the
those
Hawks.
were the days. I remember that. You're right. They always got
The
better. They
Bulls.
brought in Paul Pierce, hit the game winner. I call game. You know, like those are the days. You know, Gilbert days were the days for real. But ever since then, you right. Yeah, I look at y'all roster and I'm like, who are these people? Like for real, like that's serious.
I'm telling you, man. It's like
Every
playing.
year.
It's like when you playing 2K and you know you pay LeBron all the money and you're just like, all right, we got to go find John Smith or Albert Smith. You just got to sign people just to fill the roster out, and that's what it sounds like. Also, I want to throw out there. I mean, even those years when we had McGee and Jordan Crawford and all them, like even though the team was losing, it was fun. Like they were entertaining with Nick Young and all them. It was entertaining. This here, it's just terrible.
It's crazy because like, you know, when I watch y'all, you know, like y'all have the pieces to look like it'd be a good team. Porzingis has a lot of monster games. You know, y'all just like I remember I'll never forget I watched that Nets game. Porzingis went crazy, but y'all was missing from the free throw line. I feel like y'all always found a way to lose.
Every time. Let's not even bring up the Nuggets game.
It's
98 points in the paint.
98 points in the paint. Score 100 and what, 50 points, I think, by only hitting 2 threes.
140, yep, 141. Yep.
141, and you hit by only hitting 2 threes the whole game. That's impossible. It's not the 1930s.
It's not. It's not. You just thought Wilt Chamberlain was out there.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure you're using that same dust that David used. Put his team in the doghouse. Now you gotta put them on the done something next week too. He did it twice. Then they won the win streak. You feel me? He didn't do it today, and guess what?
I'm scared to see. I'm scared to see who I'm gonna put on there next week because he just got back.
Yeah.
I want to add somebody to your done son.
Okay.
He went through some trials and tribulations during the off season. You know, he retired. Then he started to come back. thought that he was going to be able to, have a really good season. He played well last year, led the league in touchdowns. But went through a divorce. Wife left him. Took the kids too. Tom Brady, you're done, son.
You
were up 17-3 against the Bengals. And they came back and blew you out. They put up 34 points on you. And all you could muster was an extra 6 points after that.
in garbage time.
And not only that, you actually were a part of the reason why that happened. You threw 2 picks. You started it, my guy. So, Brady, after the season, I think you just need to give it up.
You're home.
He fumbled twice too. I think
4 turnovers in the second half, my guy. 4.
One of those was Giovanni, right?
No, I think they had 5 total.
5 total.
He had 2, but because one was off a handoff.
Yep.
But I will say this though. Still number 1 in his division. All right, so he still have a chance, and I don't think it's really Brady. I think it's a team. They got weapons, but he needs an offensive line. Brady's the type of quarterback. That's why when y'all try to dog
he's a system quarterback.
Well, he needs an offensive line. He's a sitting duck. He's a sitting duck. So Matthew Stafford, look at him, sitting duck. They look terrible when he played. People kept
Carson
blaming.
Wentz.
That's what I'm saying. They kept trying to dog. I'm not saying Carson Wentz is all great quarterback, but he's not as bad as people make it seem like. He needs an offensive line. When he's protected, he can make the throws, but he gets rattled. Tom Brady gets rattled every time. If it's pressure up the middle, I mean, the 2 Super Bowls he lost is because it was killing him up the middle. So that's how he's always been. So that's why before the season started, with coming off, they had 2 people on the offensive line that was out. I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna be good for them. Yeah, but I didn't think it would be this bad though.
I told you, man. I thought he was gonna retire by week 5.
Yeah. So if he can go to a better situation next year,
like
he
home,
might still.
No, he needs to go
come
home.
back to the Bucks.
No, he needs to go home. There's no better situation but home.
I think he should go home. I would if I was him, and get your family back. I don't know the ins and outs, but at the end of the day, you were married. Stick to your commitment. You feel me? You got kids, but football reasons, he can't come back to Tampa Bay.
There's no other better situation for him. There's no other situation. You can name all of them.
No. Don't want him.
Oh, close game. Wizards down 4.
See, they just need to go home too. Like we could sit on it and name like 18 other teams. There's no perfect situation for Brady.
It's not. Dolphins would be a good situation for him.
But they got Tua.
They got Tua though.
And they like to throw the ball down the field. He'll just come in and slow down the offense.
What about the Lions?
The Lions could be a good one though.
Okay, that was a good one.
Okay, David.
That was a good one.
For real though. Carl would hate it. But that's a good one though. Because they have a good offensive line.
They don't believe in golf. You got a good offensive line. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got 2 good running backs back there.
And they got that rookie name. He just played last week.
Something Williams.
Yeah.
Something Williams. Yeah.
They got him.
I think it's something like that.
That was a good one.
So they then they got a good running back duo. They got a fiery coach, so
that's where Jameson was. But that's where it gets tricky because Tom Brady like to come in and take over. I don't know. Dan Campbell got his pulse on the team right now.
Well, he don't like to take over. He's just a system quarterback because he went to Tampa Bay. He didn't try to change nothing.
He changed the whole playbook.
They had to change the offense to cater Brady.
Yeah, he came in and changed the whole playbook.
Hey,
but he didn't demand it though. It was like something that was like, all right, Tom, we need you to do this.
No. Let Shady tell it.
Remember he was getting this year. They saying like he be making adjustments without Brian Leftwich.
That's why he wanted to do those little dink and dunks.
Oh yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, And also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.